Hi everyone, this is Grace, and today I'll be walking you through how I made this beginner Easter eggs set. So let's go. Now, this is an online class called Beginner Easter Eggs. It is the beginner level and it is one shape. So it uses some of my, at this point, signature elements of my beginner classes. One consistency, y'all. One consistency. So what you're seeing right here is my thick flood. There's a difference between a one consistency outline and flood and a two consistency. So the general concept, right, is that you outline and flood the cookie always. The outline is always thinner, then you squeeze a lot more and you get more icing in the center. Now, if you're going to allow that outline to dry and then flood it, or as I just did here, outline and then immediately flood in, you can't just use the same consistency for everything. The one consistency outline and flood is going to have a thicker flood, like we do here. I call this my thick flood. It's just thin enough to settle flat, but thick enough it's not going to immediately fall off the cookie if you use the right amount. If you use the right amount is the key here. And then the two consistency outline and flood uses a piping consistency, usually like a soft peak to outline, let that dry, and then fill that in with a thinner flood. I do the one consistency for my beginner classes because it is a little bit harder to get just the right consistency, but it's so much easier to apply. It's so much more forgiving. You can use your scribe if you make a mistake. So I'll continue to talk about that concept throughout the video here, but just wanted to give you that quick overview because I want to talk about this bunny for a second. So we're doing a 2-layer here, some flooding in sections. So we let the first layer crust over for about 15 to 30 minutes. Then the top of the bunny head, let that crust for 10 to 15. And then we're doing the ears with a little wet on wet for the pink in between. Now, a lot of people are a little perplexed as to why I didn't include eyes on the bunny or the chick in this set. And the main reason is I think that eyes should be black. They don't have to be black. You could make them other colors, but I just think they should be black on animals. And you know what? I'm going to talk about this in a second when we get to the chick because I want to talk about what I'm doing right here. So with my one consistency sets, I do still try to get as much texture and variation as possible. And when you're using just a flood, like there's only so much you can do. But this is one of my favorite things, which is to use, I'm using a thingamajiggy here by the Cookie Countess, but you can just use like a kitchen knife, whatever, to spread the icing on instead of flooding it. It just gives different dimension, texture. In this case, I wanted it to be messy. So don't make it super even. I like the texture. Let that dry for about 15 minutes. I flooded that carrot, which is supposed to look uneven, and then let that crust for about 10 to 15. Flooded the top of the leaves, whatever, and then I added that little crackle after about 10 to 15 minutes because I just thought it was fun. Y'all know I love crackle. It'll never get old, especially for my one consistency sets. Like it just adds that extra element. So back to the concept of the eyes. This is the chick here. The bunny and chick are very common imagery for these cute little Easter sets. So I wanted to include that. I do have them in my Easter egg class, which is my more advanced Easter eggs class. And in that class, we use PME black pearls. These are these specialty black sprinkles in the 4mm size. You do not want to use any other black sprinkle. I mean, the only one I know of that does black pearls is Wilton, and they will bleed, okay? Do not use the cheaper ones. They will bleed. If you cannot get access to the PME black pearls, I do not recommend using any other black sprinkle. The other alternatives would be black food coloring to just make some black icing, or you could do a black edible marker. Now, these things all cost extra money, right? Like these specialty sprinkles you can only buy from a specialty shop, the edible marker, even the black food coloring. Like we're not using black food coloring for the rest of the set. It's also just a pain to make black icing. And with my beginner sets, I really try to simplify things as much as possible. And I only add extra stuff when it actually makes a difference. And in this case, I was like, can I play around with this and figure out how to not include eyes in this set? And I think I did a pretty good job. You'll see if you look at the reviews on this class, some people did still add eyes, whether they made icing or they used edible marker. It can be done. It does look very cute, but at the same time, I think these look adorable without the eyes as is. And I really encourage you to, simplify your designs. Only do extra stuff when it's necessary because decorating with royal icing already takes enough time, enough supplies, costs enough money. Like, simplify things where you can, okay? So this here is my little like upside down cracked egg with my chick. I just think it's so cute. Uh Again, just another excuse to use crackle because I love crackle. There will be one more instance of crackle in this set and I will not apologize. Some people really don't like it, and that's okay. You don't have to crackle it if you don't like the crackle. That's fine. So that's my little eyeless chick. I think he's cute. What do we have next? Oh, this is the simple, just a wet on wet design. So the difference here in outline and flood, I'm applying barely any pressure because this is an outline consistency. It's already coming out of the bag pretty easily. And then I squeeze the heck out of this bag, like opening up a tough pickle jar squeeze. It is the same bag. I'm not waiting. I'm immediately flooding. You'll see that I'm not flooding all the way to the edge. That's really important when you're doing a one consistency outline and flood because the icing is going to want to spread out a bit, even if you use the quote unquote right amount. Giving it a little bit of an edge, like 1/8 of an inch, gives you that grace period, pun intended, for it to spread out just a little bit. So this design here is a super simple wet on wet. I always think everyone needs to know how to do something like this. It's one of the first techniques I ever learned. There are 2 different ways to use your scribe with lines. This is one way. So if you find that your icing is falling off the cookie, it could be for a couple of different reasons. One, it could be that your icing is too thin. It could be that you're applying too much icing. It could be one of those reasons. It could be both of those reasons. You could be flooding too close to the edge. It's really trial and error. If you find that your icing is uncontrollably coming out of the tip of your bag, you probably have too thin icing. And one thing you can just do in the moment is just cut a smaller tip on your bag. Obviously, you may then need to rebag it, but that's in a way easier than trying to fix the consistency when it's too thin. So this one here I call my stained glass cookie, and we're adding a pretty significant amount of a wet on wet design to the top of this, which is why you see me underflood this. And the way I've underflood this is a pretty reliable way to do it, because I'm actually leaving space in between the icing, which is great. If at least for me, that's the best way to do it because it visually tells me that I've underflooded, right? So I just have enough to still have like a flat layer of icing. And then here I'm outlining the leaves and then I'm adding this zigzag in. And I actually think don't fill it in, like make it a zigzag. I like that the white pops through. Take your scribe, pull it through. You don't need to clean it off because this is kind of a messy look anyway. So those are the leaves, and then immediately go in and do a zigzag again for your petals. Again, it shouldn't be a tight zigzag, both for the look, but also because if you make it a tight zigzag, it's going to add way too much icing. Now, this scribe pull here, I think looks good, but admittedly, it's pulling the icing towards the very edge of your cookie, which you're going to see in a minute can be quite challenging when you add this extra dollop of the yellow here, which is absolutely necessary, I think, but it very easily kind of over floods this corner. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then let that dry for 10 to 15 minutes. And I am adding the crackle on top. And the reason I did this is, first of all, I made this design because it reminded me, I was invoking stained glass from like a cathedral. I was thinking Easter, Sunday morning, service in a cathedral, beautiful stained glass window. I also did the crackle because this is arguably one of the more challenging designs from the set. And the crackle is going to distract from any messiness from the wet on wet. So I like the I personally like the crackle. Not everyone does. If you don't like the crackle, you can just do the wet on wet design and leave it like that, right? But I think it looks great. You want to make sure you're cracking it, not indenting it. If it's more of an indent, Indent, that just means that the icing hasn't dried enough and you need to give it like 5 to 10 more minutes to dry. So next up, we're doing this cutout. It's funny, before I started doing my beginner classes, I thought you couldn't do cutouts with a one consistency outline and flood. Now, arguably, it is a lot easier to do a cutout with a two consistency because you can let the outline dry and then flood around it. In this case, it is possible to do the one consistency, but you have to keep in mind of a couple of things. First of all, make your cutout shape a little bit bigger than it actually needs to be because it is going to inevitably kind of close in a bit. And then you really want to make sure that you're not flooding too much as you're going in with that flood. You'll see too with the scrape, don't go all the way to the edge there. Let it dry for about 10 to 15 minutes. If you're really struggling and your icing is like way too thin, you could flood your outline and then, or like, pipe your outline with the flood, let that dry, and then flood in next to it. It is going to be a very visible, thick outline because it's not a tiny little piping consistency. It's a very thick line. But this does the job. It looks pretty cute. You'll see when it dries that heart does close in a bit because we're also going to add some wet on wet polka dots. I tend to avoid, well, not avoid, but I don't do a lot of polka dots with beginner classes. It is a simple technique, but it's actually very hard to do well, to get them the right size, to get them circles, evenly placed, blah, blah, blah. So that's the little cutout heart. What do we have next? I wonder if this is the last one. I cannot remember. This is definitely the flowers. Whether it's the last one or not, we will discover soon. So I wanted to include some more like good basic wet on wet techniques that everyone should know. And one of those is the flower. I've done this flower on at least one beginner class before, the beginner hearts, but we're going to add a little extra pizzazz to this one, which I'm pretty stoked about. I'm just mesmerized with myself. Okay, so for this one, we're doing these wet on wet flowers. So you're going to do 5 petals. The key here is to make the dots super close to each other, but not touching. Ideally, you can see you've got like 0.5 millimeter in between them. And you need to work pretty quickly here, obviously, because we're doing a lot of wet on wet. So for this, you're not going to clean off the tip of your scribe. Now, I say it's because we're doing a one consistency, you don't have as much time, it's thicker, blah, blah, blah. But I actually think it looks good when you see the scribe pull from the center of that dot. I don't know. I think it looks good. Anyway, so then you're going to pipe some dots for, these are the leaves. And take that scribe, kind of pull it out. I like to do it at a kind of a curve, but if you want to pull it out straight, that's fine too. Whatever makes your heart happy. Again, we're not cleaning off the scribe. We're working as quickly as possible. And then for the finishing touch, just to add a little yellow dot in the center. I just did 3 on this egg because the more flowers you do, the harder it is. The icing will start to crust. It won't dry flat. Yada, yada, yada. How cute. Okay, we do have another one. What's this one? Oh, this is the waves. I don't know. I don't know if this is the appropriate name for this, but whatever. So in lieu of using an edible marker to sketch that out, you can see I just use my scribe to kind of give myself a visual guideline of how I want to do these waves. And the purpose of this design in terms of skills is just to learn how to do more flooding in sections. That's when you flood one section, let it crust over, then flood one next to it so that there's separation in between the colors instead of them melting together. If I immediately flooded the next sections, they would melt together. It's not bad, it's just a different look. So you can see I let that crust over 10 to 15 minutes or so. Go in with the next color. If I was doing a 2 consistency outline and flood and I was outlining this whole thing, I would be outlining the sections too. And I could actually flood the bottom of and the top at the same time and then flood the center in. But because we are not working with an outline to begin with, I find that it's just like, it's hard to get the top section in the right place and then do the center last. So I just do them one at a time, which does like take a little bit longer because you have to wait in between sections, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's conceptually the easier way to execute this. I spent a lot of time trying to think about these colors for this set because Easter is hard to distill down the number of colors. Trying to remember how many I have here. 3, 4, I think maybe there's 5 colors in this set. For my beginner classes, I try to keep it around 3 to 4 if I can. But this one, you just needed the 5, okay? Because if you're gonna do a carrot, you already have orange and green. If you're gonna do the bunny, you need pink and white. So yeah, okay, that's the whole set. Yay. This is, again, my beginner Easter eggs class. Go check out the link in the description or in the comments if you're curious about this class. My online classes include a lot more resources. It's like a 60 plus page workbook. I have a separate class video, which is entirely different from this. It's, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half for this one instead of like the 15 minutes we just spent here. It's a very different approach. It's like you're in the room with me. So as always, I hope you enjoyed listening to this. Like, you learned a thing or two, and you might even try these cookies yourself. Bye, y'all. Have a sweet one.